lot of the smaller supporting companies that have been in our community for a number of years continually hire our graduates, train our graduates, employ our graduates who go on and have families, and it's a cycle that continues to go over and over again. And from economic development, we really push three things. We push people, place, and partnership. And when you talk about people, and we're talking about a global economy, Allen County is just not competing against other communities in Ohio to attract, retain those jobs. We're competing globally. And you can bet that everybody that we meet up against, they're all saying the same thing. We have the best labor force. We have the best workers in the entire world. And how do you differentiate that? Well, I think one of the things that we've done, and how this has become so important at Allen Economic Development Group, in the past as an economic developer, you really concentrated on just a couple things. You concentrated on having ground readily available for those plants to either expand or to locate. You worked a little bit on infrastructure to make sure that we had the road, the rail, the water, the electric power, all that sort of stuff in place to attract and help expansion. And you also worked on various incentives to help lure companies in and take advantage of some of those things. But in today's environment, if it's not the most important thing, it's up there within one or two, and that's workforce. And I printed off a number of articles before I came, and they all said the same thing, that in today's economy, we're competing globally, not only for the existing workforce, but the future workforce. And we're very fortunate to have Apollo Career Center that is training our employees for today's skills and tomorrow's skills. But just like the slides that Judy showed you, there is no way in the world that we can remain competitive in this global economy by the technology that we have here. We have to invest in the future. And you see that going on constantly in our business sector. Every small business that is not investing won't be here tomorrow. And that goes the same for education. If we're not investing in education, we won't be here tomorrow, because those jobs will go someplace else, and those career and opportunities for not only our young people, but our existing labor force will follow suit. So I thought the slides were very appropriate, and the fact that if you look at the companies that are expanding today, the Fords, the Procter & Gamble's, the gas stove tool and die, they're all investing in their campuses, and I think it's vitally important that we do the same here, and we support what Apollo is doing. We've supported them through the course of the 36 years because you all supplied the labor force for us, and we look forward to that partnership for the next 36 years and beyond. So I think from an economic development standpoint, and on behalf of Allen Economic Development Group, we really support this initiative, and we'll do whatever we can to help bring the upgrades and the expansion on this campus. So thank you very much.
All right. You get a cookie later. Here's our health careers program. Again, I just want you to see that even though the adult education building was built, we're very proud of it in 1992. And I think Mr. Turner is going to talk to you in a few minutes here about that. As you can see, look, we've got people sharing a table. I mean, it's just unbelievable how proud we are over there. This is our new Medi-Man simulator, $42,000, and then we split between the high school and the adult ed health careers. Mr. Sprague is absolutely correct. Health careers is a thriving opportunity as far as our region is concerned, and we want to make sure that we compete. So this is a very high-tech simulator, and we would love to add more of these opportunities for our students to take advantage of. Here's the machining lab again. As you can see, it's pretty crowded. This is it running at night with adult ed. Again, more than one person working, 4 of them looking over his shoulder because we simply lack the space and equipment to do this. I'm going to bring up Mr. Rick Turner right now. He's my adult education director. He's going to give you a little bit of the history of Apollo Adult Ed. Awesome.
Good evening. We continue to hear that there is a skills gap in our nation, in our state, and
in our region. The skills gap is a term that we use to define the difference between what employers are looking for and what job seekers are coming to them with. Currently, there are 77,000 unfilled jobs in Ohio, according to our economic development partners. These are skilled jobs that include CNC machinists, tool and die makers, industrial maintenance technicians, welders, Class A CDL drivers, and then several different aspects of healthcare. Companies as far away as Cincinnati, Ohio are attempting to recruit our students. The bottom line is we need to build capacity to train for these jobs. One example is a local company recently needed 107 welders. As you heard Ann Benfield say, we can take in 8 at a time, twice a year. Companies in a global market cannot afford to wait on these skilled workers. We cannot train during the weekday in our manufacturing labs. We're limited to evenings and weekends, and we are using these labs to full capacity evenings and weekends. We have no room to start new programming. Currently, we must close one program in order to make room for another new program. We're in the planning stages of running an off-site culinary program for adult, and happily we're able to partner with Tracy Appliances, and we appreciate our partners, but that's what we have to do to start new programming. When we analyze our growth, the need becomes very clear. In 1976, as you heard earlier, we had one small adult LPN program. Today we have 12 full-time programs, over 60 part-time programs. We serve over 4,000 people in adult annually. We have added dedicated space to adult education over the years, but our growth and ability to respond to local business and industries are outpacing our current facilities and equipment resources. We work with 72 fire departments in a 14-county area in our public safety program. 31 trucking companies hire our CDL students. We've done well with what we have. Over the past several years, we have issued more industry credentials than any other career center in the state of Ohio. Last year, we issued 539 industry credentials, more than double any other career center in the state. We need to have the ability and the capacity to respond quickly to area business and industries. As you are hearing tonight, this is an economic development issue. And finally, I'll just leave you with a thought. There is no such thing as remaining static. If you're not moving forward as an organization, you are regressing. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. And to that end, we're going to show you the commercial that we have that's been currently playing, and it actually speaks to that very thing. So give us 30 seconds. You've probably already seen this, but it's one of my favorites. I just want to show it to you.
My name is 55. I call myself unemployed. I know I want to get back into the workforce, and Apollo gave me the training that I need.
I saw Michael's resume with training in the feature of Apollo. We knew we get somebody very solid who had a solid skill set.
So I've come here as a team leader. It's a level up from what I did in my previous job. Pay scale is higher and there's more responsibility.
There are solid opportunities for people who are willing to invest the time and effort to get an education through a program like Apollo.
For more on Apollo's manufacturing programs, visit us at apollocareercenter.com.
All right. We just happen to have one of the stars of that commercial here tonight with us. We've got Bob Bussey from Form Fiber, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about his experiences with the talk.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate being here tonight. And really, the commercial touched on, and the speakers this evening touched on a common theme that we're having in manufacturing. We are looking for skilled tradesmen who can replace some of the people who are getting older and getting ready to retire. We're looking to expand our skilled trades areas because we have new business both with domestic companies and international companies. And when I got back up with Form Fiber, really Apollo was the first place I thought about. with their adult program. I gave them a call, and I was fortunate to get some resumes, and that included Michael's. When Michael came down, we were very impressed with not only his work experience, but also the training that he brought in. We originally wanted to bring him in as a maintenance technician, but once we interviewed him and saw what he had to offer, we actually hired him as a supervisor, so he's actually doing both. And we've been very pleased with that. So, you know, education is an ongoing thing, not only college, but we run a variety of equipment that requires our people to be very knowledgeable, not only in the different types of tooling, different types of fixturing, there's computer applications and programming. So we really look for people who have a broad skill set, who can problem solve, and we've seen those types of skill sets and results from the folks we've talked to from Apollo. So we appreciate that. And as a user of your product, we're very happy and we'd like to do more.
Thank you so much, Bob. We'll get him cookies too. Okay, guess what? Now you're going to get to do something, because right now we're coming to the end, and I've got a few things I just want to leave you with, and I'm going to turn it over to you guys for table discussions here. It is our opportunity. We've got a great one, and we need to make a decision. So we need you to help us with that. As you can see, there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of things we can take advantage of. It is your choice, it is your voice, and it is your Apollo. I'm going to leave you with one thing to consider, because at the table you're going to have a facilitator. We're going to do some group discussions, but I want you to be clear about what we're trying to find out. First of all, we're trying to educate you on our need, and we hope that we have shared that with you with the different speakers and with the pictures of the things that are wrong. And again, I've got my experts in the room. They'll be happy to answer you any questions, take you on a tour if you want to see stuff for yourself, that's fine. What I need from you, what I'd love to have from you is, do we move forward with the OSFC project or not? We have no master plan yet from OSFC, so I have no firm dollars to tell you, but what I will pledge to you is what we're going to do is our best is to keep it around a $500,000 bond levy. We're considering going to the voters in November 2012 to make these things happen. We are committed to Apollo Career Center. We are committed to you, to improving this place so that we can continue to be state-of-the-art just like you started in 1976. So our house needs some work. Your house, when your house starts to fall down, the plumbing goes bad, I think you fix it. So there are things we need your help with to consider. I'll quote you a few dollars just to have this in the back of your head as you're talking at with the people at your table. A $500,000 levy, just so you know. Let's say we're lucky enough to go to a $500,000. A $500,000 levy for a $100,000 home. Because Apollo covers 6 counties, 11 schools, thousands of people, that $500,000 is not the same $500,000, say if you were in Bath, or if you were in Elida, or Allen East. That $500,000 at Apollo will cost you $16 and then a few cents on the year. Now, last week I went to Beer Barrel and bought a 14-inch combo pizza for $16. I think that's a pretty fair trade-off that I'd be willing to give for my kids and my adult kids here at Apollo. A mill, if we have to go anywhere between the $500,000 and the mill, that's just double. So in other words, that would be $32 a year, not a month, $32 a year more for a 1 mill levy. A 1 mill levy could allow us to make some other decisions. In other words, whether or not we would go with OSFC or not, or go out on our own, which again is always a possibility for you to think about also. OSFC, that 2-to-1, the $2 to every one we kick in, it's kind of a hard deal to turn down, but again, we want to know what you think. So I have facilitators that have stacks of papers. What we're going to do is we're going to fill up the round tables and we're going to talk in groups. So I'm going to, by the way, I want to introduce my treasurer here. Here's the money guy. Here's another expert, Mr. Bukowski, come on up. So if you have any money questions, here's the guy that knows everything. Hey, Greg?
I don't know about that. But if you do have any questions regarding any of the finances or anything about Apollo, I'll be available, Judy will be available, I'm walking around through the tables. But the first part of this presentation really had to do with Apollo. The second part of the evening has to do with you. What we want is we want your advice, and we want your comments, and we want your concerns. So what's going to happen is that there's a facilitator at each of the tables. They're going to start the discussion with a couple questions, and then they're going to give you a one-page kind of summary of the issues. But what we really need from you is your voice. Tell us what you think, and then we're going to take this information back to the Board of Education. They're going to make a decision, an informed decision, and hopefully we move forward. We'll move forward one way or another. So we appreciate you being here. We thank you for coming. We hope to get you out of here in less than half an hour. So please go wholeheartedly into the discussion and let your voice be heard. We appreciate it. Thank you.